aspire to study in the UK, Canada, or any part of the world? Doveland Sixth Form College Abuja is your ticket to the world's top and finest universities. We offer a wide range of pathways while you're in Nigeria to suit your aspirations to top universities abroad. Our programs include the Canadian Diploma (OSSD), Cambridge A-Levels, UK University Foundation Program, national exams and remedial programs, international exams like SAT, TOEFL, and IELTS. We are located at Plot 150 Doveland Crescent off Canary Street, Apollo Kogoma Road, Bumba District, Abuja. For more information, please call 0906 835 5988, 0904 131 0079, or www.doveland6formcollege.com. Also, follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Doveland Sixth Form College. Doveland Sixth Form College Abuja. Global minds, boundless opportunities.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this live session of our question and answer session. It is to present to you some of the imagined questions, some of the questions you will want to ask, but the time might not allow you, or the last time we have this kind of a session, you might not have had opportunity to ask such questions. Therefore, this is a live session where I will be presenting to you our partner from Canada, Kai Global School, and as well, the sixth form coordinator of our Doveland Sixth Form College. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Ms. Lori of Kai Global School and Mr. Obochukwu Victor of Doveland Sixth Form College. Welcome.
All right. Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this live session. It will be a very enlightening session where all your burning questions will be answered. And this evening with us, we have our partner from Canada, Ms. Lori. Please, could you introduce yourself? Thank you.
Sure. Thank you for having me. My name is Lori Lavallee, and I am the principal and director of Kai Global School in Canada. We have a large global school that partners with schools internationally, like Doveland, which we're thrilled to be working with. And we also have a campus in Canada as well.
All right. Thank you for that introduction. You will be hearing more about our partnership with them and how this program will benefit you. And we will be discussing majorly on the OSSD program. OSSD is Ontario Secondary School Diploma. So we will be fielding questions as we have from our database, a lot of questions that have been asked us. So this evening, we will be throwing those questions to her in the hope that she will provide answers and clarity to all our burning questions. So without wasting so much of our time, we will be diving right in with the first question. So pay attention as we walk you through all these questions. And should you have more questions, please engage the chat button. We will definitely get back to you with the answers in case the ones we will be attempting to provide clarity is not covered in this session. So our first question that we will be looking at is, what is the duration of the OSSD program at Doveland Sixth Form College? So as I said earlier, OSSD means the Ontario Secondary School Diploma. So I will give the floor to Lori to shed more light on the OSSD program. Then I will come back to tell us the duration as operated by Doveland Sixth Form College in partnership with Kai Global School. Over to you, Ms. Lori.
Sure. So the Ontario Secondary School Diploma is a diploma that allows students in other countries to, basically the Ministry of Education in Ontario allows us to partner with education, strong education educational students or educational partner schools and to offer the Canadian diploma. There's a couple of things that are quite unique about the way the Canadian government allows this to be done. So when students are taking their OSSD at a partner school like Dovland, they are able to get an Ontario education number. And this allows them to apply to universities as a domestic student. And there are many benefits to this. And, we'll talk more about the benefits later on. But that is, in a nutshell, it allows students to apply to every university worldwide. We've had great success with our students being accepted into some of the best universities worldwide with amazing scholarships. We're very proud of the success of the students. And as far as how long does the program take? So every school is a little bit unique how they run with it. Typically in Canada, we have 2 semesters, anywhere from 13 to 18 weeks a semester. And in those semesters, students will take 3 to 4 courses at a time. Did you want me to talk about, I can also mention our pathway programs. So the courses that a student would take would be dependent on their pathway. So we do programs for students in engineering, medicine, business commerce, computer science, data scientists, biomedical engineers. We have everything pretty much. So students, once they tell us what they want to do, then we complete their course package for them to make sure that they have all the courses necessary to be admitted into the program of their choice. So I'll let Dovland explain how they're going to, yeah, you go ahead.
All right. Thank you so much for those explanations. I think they are clear enough. It's already been established that it's a semester-wise program. So it's 2 semesters in a year for first semester and second semester. So the duration of the OSSD program is 1 year. 1 calendar year divided into first and second semester. I believe this is clear enough. So there are other questions we will be asking that she's already attempting to answer, but I believe she will explain further when such questions are asked. So secondly here, we will be taking the question, and the second question is, what are the chances of securing admission to study medicine in Canada after the completion of the OSSD program? I think this question resurfaces because parents, guardians want to know the chances they have in securing medicine as a very specialized and competitive course. So could you shed more light on that for us? Thank you.
Absolutely. So right now in Canada, we are actually desperate to get new nurses, doctors, health professionals into the country. And so we have been Canadians have been actively pursuing students to come here and for medical professionals to come. So it's an amazing time if your child wants to become a doctor or a nurse or anything in the medical field. The chances of applying and getting into the medical program, well, one, it's higher now because we have more spaces, because we are desperate for doctors. And 2, when a student takes the Ontario Secondary School Diploma, they are now considered a domestic student. So they are competing against the other domestic students instead of against all of the international students. So how medical school works in Canada is students will get an undergrad in one of the health science programs. So students tend to do, a health science or a biomedical or one of those programs, and we can help your child decide. The courses that they would take in for the OSSD are the same. So that part is easy. And then they would just decide where they want to go and what they want to take. So students have to have their undergrad and then they apply to medical school. So the nice thing about this is that by the time students get to medical school, chances are they'll have their permanent residency. So once a student has their permanent residency, there are bursaries from the government that they're able to get, plus they're paying domestic tuition fees. And so in Canada, so what they do for medical school is each province has their own medical schools. And so in those medical schools, they save 70% of spots for the students, domestic students in that province. And this means that your child would be part of that 70%, which instead of if they had applied with their A levels or their WIAC, they would be part of the 30%. They would be, 30% of international students and vying for those spots. So taking the OSSD just really opens the doors and their chances exponentially. And so, yes, I think, becoming an OSSD student, that's one way to open up the doors. The other reason right now is that we are in desperate need in Canada for health professionals. So it's an amazing sector to get into, especially if they ever wanted to come and immigrate to Canada permanently.
Oh, wow. Thank you. So if I get you correctly, it means the prerequisite for going to the medical school is to offer any of the health sciences at undergraduate level.
Yes.
Before transitioning to the medical school.
Exactly.
Of course, according to the provinces that the person will be interested to go into.
Yes, exactly.
All right. That brings me to another question from what you just said. So is it correct to say that the Ontario education number is an access to becoming a permanent resident in Canada as well?
Yes. So the Ontario education number comes with a lot of benefits. One of those benefits is that once applying for permanent residency, it will be Canada has a fast track system and it's based on points. And so it helps with increasing the points for the permanent residency application. So it definitely will help for that. Once students and then once they get their permanent residency. So there's just so many benefits because they get to apply to university for their undergrad as a domestic student as well. And it's the same idea for universities in Canada. They save spots for their domestic students and then the rest go to the international. So now your child would be, competing against other domestic students instead of that small portion of spots for all of the international students.
All right. Thank you. I think we'll still come back to this question for more clarity because we'll have a segment dedicated to that. Thank you. So the third question is, can one use the OSSD result to apply to other universities outside Canada?
Yes, absolutely. So we've had students go to universities in Hong Kong, Australia. 30% of our students go to the UK, the US, Brazil. We had a handful of students this year go to Poland to medical school. And I think they chose Poland because it was a bit less expensive. I'm trying to think of Japan. We've had students go to Japan, China. So Singapore. So we've had students go everywhere. So yes, it is very possible. Germany as well. We just had our first students this year go to a German university.
Oh, wow. This is interesting. Glad to hear that with the OSSD, one can actually go to other countries. And I'm sure parents out there, we want to take this opportunity to explore the OSSD program with Doveland Sixth Form College in partnership with Kai Global School. Thank you so much. So our next question will be, what are the benefits of studying this OSSD program with Doveland Sixth Form College? So I wouldn't know if you want to chip in one or two benefits before our head of operation to contribute to this aspect.
I was for working with Dublin College. Our experience with Dublin has been that they are extremely professional. They have dedicated teachers that are really well. Have all the criteria to be, teach the high level subjects like physics, advanced functions, calculus, and vectors. And that's what we're looking for in our partner schools. And we've been very happy to find this in Dublin. And I'll let you guys talk as well, because you know more about the school as well.
All right, thank you for those wonderful feedbacks. So we give the floor to our head of operation to chip in one or two benefits of taking the OSSD program with Dublin Sixth Form College. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Obochukwu, and thank you, Ms. Laurie. That is really very, very informative. And I believe that will surely help those who have such questions in mind and will surely guide them aright. Well, our sixth form college started 6th of September this year, and it has been a great experience for us. Like I told you, when we had our accreditation with you, we have everything in place, set up to make sure that our students are fully engaged as expected. We believe that preparing them from here before they go to Canada will be an added advantage to them, because right now they join live classes from Canada, which has really been of a great help to them. We know the culture shock, and we know what students from Nigeria often face when they go over there, being the first time experience that they will pick up when they get there. But having access directly to their lecturers and to the classrooms, being able to ask questions, being able to even adapt to the time of their study, which they will surely face when they get there. I can assure you that of all the sixth form colleges in Nigeria, especially those that are running OSSD, Dublin School has really been on top of this. Has really been confirmed, and this has really been confirmed by our students as well as by our prospective parents. It is these aspects of live classes that is really helping them and making them to settle. And I know how well your organization, your lecturers have really been keeping them on their toes, because I have my students here who will not want to sleep until 1 a.m. because they are always up there just wanting to submit their assignment, working with their lecturers around here to provide support for them. They equally been asking questions from the lecturers on the other side, and they've really been guiding them right. Thank you, and this is really a good partnership we're having with you. Mr. Obochukwu,
all right. Thank you so much for those.
Hello, are you there?
I'm still here.
Yeah, I think something happened to us.
Yeah, I think.
Let me call him.
Sure.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Okay, welcome back, Mr. Obochukwu. We lost touch with you for a few seconds.
Oh, apologies to the network. All right, so some of the other benefits of studying the OSSD program with Dublin Sixth Form College is that it increases your chances of university acceptance worldwide, just has been detailed by Laurie. And also, the support you receive is second to none. as well as you have this comprehensive assistance when it comes to your university admission, because you will be guided properly as to the choice of universities that you can apply to. And these are some of the benefits in addition to all that has been stated. So we move right up to the next question. And our next question is, what are the benefits of engaging in community service? Does it affect the final grade, and does it enhance the admission chances?
So in Canada, part of the Ontario Secondary School Diploma, part of the requirements is 40 hours of community service. And this is for a student that was in an Ontario school from grade 9 to grade 12. So it's prorated at 10 hours a year. And so the students that come to us from Dublin are with us for 1 year. And so they're required to do 10 hours of community service. And that's one of the requirements, just like getting the credits that they need to get the diploma. Now, the reason why this is added into the requirements for the Ontario program is because our government and our educators here in Canada have seen a great need for students to be involved in the community and to understand what giving back means, and volunteering for, for many different reasons. We have students volunteering in old age homes. We have students volunteering at sporting events. We have students volunteering at, tutoring other students. And the idea is of giving your time, doing something for the community at no cost. And it's shown, there's been so much research done on this, and how important these types of programs are in the world. And we can see through everything that's happened over the past 5 years with COVID, the different wars that have been going on, how important it is that there are volunteers and people who focus on community service. So yes, we believe it's very important. And how it helps students get into universities is because this goes into their portfolio. So it's not just getting into universities, but this is something that can go on their resume when they get their first jobs. And so I see many students put their volunteer experience onto their resumes. And it's just such an amazing work experience for them, because they learn how to work with different people of different personalities. They get to see a different part of their community that they might not have ever been introduced to before.
Oh wow, that's interesting. So through this community service, they will get to learn about empathy. They will learn about people management, they will learn communication skills, and they will also enhance their relationship management with people. So these are some of the benefits of engaging in community service, such that they will see the world from another perspective. And this will really help build them as lifelong learners and those that are contributing to the society. Thank you for bringing clarity to that question. So our next question will be, okay, this is directed to Doveland. Does Doveland Sixth Form College have boarding facilities or operate only day? All right, such that we don't take so much of our time, Doveland is situated in a very serene environment. You will see from the welcoming video, that is just a tip of the iceberg of what Doveland is made up of. So we have the boarding facilities, and we currently have boarders enjoying that facility. And we also have day students, those that come and at the end of the day, they close and go back to their respective houses. So we operate the boarding facilities as well as the day facilities here in Doveland Sixth Form College. Thank you. So our next question will be centered on documentation. So what documents are needed to enroll for the OSSD program, such that they will hear directly from our partner institution? Thank you.
Sure. So to when you apply to the program, you're going to be asked to submit your grade 9, 10, and 11 equivalent from the program that you took prior, transcripts. So we need those grade 9, 10, and 11 transcripts to be able to give equivalency credits. And so those equivalency credits will then be added to your transcript, and then you will do your grade 12 credits with OSSD. We also need to have students use a passport for that, but if you have another form, we can also take that as well.
All right, thank you. So we've heard about the documents that are needed to access the OSSD program, and it's very important that those that are just leaving the high school applies for that prior to their enrollment, such that their admission will be seamless. And this brings us back to the question on the Ontario education number. I'm well aware that you have explained some of the benefits of this Ontario education number. So in addition, some parents might be wondering if the Ontario education number counts towards the permanent residency, as I've asked before now, and they may want to know the expected duration if they are already seen as domestic students while in Nigeria.
Sorry, the duration of, like, so
The conversion of the Ontario number in process of being a permanent resident in Canada, because that will now mean they will be paying their fees as domestic students, right?
yes. So there's a number of different ways that students can do this, and we can I can give you some different pathways. So for example, it could take, so if they decide to go to U of T to do a 4-year undergrad, so it's usually at the end of that 4 years where they can apply for a permanent residency. But what a lot of students end up doing is you can also do what we call they're basically, so if they went and did an undergrad at a college, they can get, after 2 years, they're getting a diploma at the college. So for example, my daughter is at Algonquin College right now. She did her first 2 years as an early childhood educator diploma. And so after, if we were from Nigeria, after those 2 years, she could apply for her permanent residency. And then Algonquin works hand in hand with the University of Ottawa to offer a Bachelor of Early Childhood. So now she's doing the Bachelor of Early Childhood for another 2 years. And so they take the first 2 years towards the Bachelor, but she's already got a diploma for that. And then she does the other 2 years. And so she would then be paying domestic fees for the third and fourth year, if that makes sense.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So that is actually one of the best scenarios, and what we often suggest, especially if students are flexible of what university they want to go to. There's benefits of doing it this way as well, because the first 2 years are less expensive for international students as well, if they do a program that is a pathway program between a college and a university. And those used to be, few and far between years ago. But now there are just so many to choose from. And so we can give, in our guidance counseling, we can give students many different suggestions. There's a really good health science one as well that does the same thing. So then after 2 years of their first 2 years, they can apply. And then, their last 2 years of the undergrad would be domestic prices, and then their medical would be domestic prices. So we work really hard to find solutions for our students to be able to, find the most affordable way to do this so that they can they can be successful. The other, one of the benefits too of Canada is that the prices are not as expensive because all of our universities and colleges, well, the majority are public institutions, which means they are given money from the government. And so that's not the same as like in the US, you're going to have very, very expensive. And so there are actually universities in Canada that would be the international tuition is very similar to the domestic tuition at some other colleges and universities. So we know all of it. And so we make sure we pass on all this amazing information to our students to make sure that they're able to, one, get that degree that they really need for their dream job, and two, that we find the most affordable route for them.
Oh wow, that's really really interesting. So that means that the 1 year OSSD program counts towards the required number of years they needed for their residency permit application.
Yes, it does. So it's a little bit more complicated than that because it's not really, it's a points-based system. So it doesn't really go to how many, it's not really counted as how many years. This is counted as point-based on a Canadian education. So that they've already received, yeah. So that's where their extra points will come in for their permanent residency.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you so much. That's actually our 9th question. So I will just go straight to the 10th question. Yeah, I believe our audience are getting a lot of information, and this is coming in handy such that they can digest and plan towards enrollment. So the next question says, does Dovland Sixth Form College provide admission and visa assistance upon completion of the OSSD program? I think it's safe to say yes at this point because Kai Global is here to assist us with the admission processes prior to the completion of the admission. And I'm also aware that the students had a webinar last week that exposed them to how they can go about their applications, and they have registrations on portals where they can begin to access admission information. Am I correct?
Yes, absolutely. And we do a couple more of those as well, just to make sure. And we keep a very close eye on the students' Ontario applications. And we also, for students who are applying outside of Canada, we also have a form that students can send to us so that we can send out predicted grades, we can send out transcripts to these universities and make sure that everything's done in the right time that they need it.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll be moving right to the next question. Please bear with us. We are almost exhausting the questions at our end. So as I said earlier, please engage the chat button. Let us know where you are connecting from. Send in your questions and we'll be glad to take your questions. So the next question, I believe it has been touched one way or the other. It's bordering on scholarship opportunities and the benefit. And I think we don't need to spend so much time on this as it has been explained earlier on, right?
I will add on that one of the bonuses of being an OSSD student is that you're then eligible for the domestic entrance scholarships that you wouldn't be. So in Canada, every university has a different amount, but depending on the percentage of their grade at the end, some countries call it the GPA, we call it the average. So for students that have an average of say 85%, my son had an 85% or 86% going into university at the time, and he was awarded $2,000 a year scholarship, which was a total of $8,000 for the 4 years. We've had students we had a student last year, our largest scholarship, a student from India, and she got $125,000 to the University of Toronto. So that's our largest one. We had a student in Nigeria get 100,000 at Queen's University, which is our second. So we had our two highest last year, but we have thousands of dollars of scholarships every year from our students getting entrance scholarships. And they usually range from 8,000 to 12,000. And really what's needed for those is, good marks, that they do their work. And as long as they stay on top of their studies and they seek support, then they should be able to get good marks.
Oh, wow. Interesting. So we have a target to beat. So we will be aiming to getting like $150,000 scholarship this year or come
Yeah.
next year. All right. So we'll be challenging our current students that the
Right.
stake is actually high out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for this valuable information. So our next question is on the fact that there are some requirements as it concerns literacy and numeracy. So you want to shed light on that. Maybe this is where the OSSLT comes in and what the students will be needing it for and how they can go about it. Thank
Yeah.
you.
In Canada, in Ontario, every student has to either take the Ontario Secondary School Literacy Test in grade 10, or if they start with us in a later grade, they take it in a later grade, or the Ontario Literacy course. So over the pandemic, because there were a lot of changes, the government had decided that all remote online students, international students, would be doing the course instead of the literacy test. Because in the past, students had to attempt the literacy test at least once and fail it before they could take the literacy course. So that was waived over the pandemic and waived last year, and we're waiting to see if it's going to be waived again this year. I called 2 weeks ago and I was told they still didn't have an answer. So what'll end up happening is say this year, no, every student has to attempt the literacy course. So what will happen is that Dublin will become the literacy course center, and
Oh, wow.
you will be able to proctor your own students for that literacy test, and we'll train you, and the ministry will send you all of the information that's needed. If it's waived again this year, then all of our students we've already kind of blocked in the time for the literacy course for them for second semester. So then they'll do the second semester literacy course instead. So that's, so basically the literacy course is to make sure that all students leave high school with the basic literacy. Now, all of our students that are coming to us from Dublin and from our partner schools are university bound. So they should have no problem with the literacy course, because the literacy course is just really for basic literacy. And now for the numeracy requirements for high school, we don't have anything. That's more, there's tests like that in the elementary grades, but not for our high school.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Thank you for considering us for the Literacy Course Center. This is well appreciated, and we will definitely make good use of this opportunity. So lastly, from my end for this evening, the question says, okay, we have another question from Mr. Bankole. Mr. Bankole is asking, do universities in Canada help OSSD students secure good co-ops while studying?
Yes, absolutely. So, and I'll use my son as an example this time. He took the Bachelor of Commerce program at the University of Ottawa, and he got into the co-op program. And I highly recommend, if there's a co-op program in the pathway your child wants, it's really important for them to try and get into that, because to be able to get the work experience is amazing. And a lot of these students get hired afterwards. So yes, there's a whole program at university for their co-op programs. They make sure each student has a placement, and they have a lot of things in place to ensure that this happens, and that students get the interviews that they want for their co-op positions. And in Ottawa right now, and I mean this is in all of Canada, workplaces are looking for co-op students. So there's no problem here to get co-op placements.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Sorry about that. So to our parents and listeners out there, you have heard it all, and we will be taking it from here as we expect your inquiries to come in towards enrollment. And someone is asking, what is our tuition fee? All right, so we will chat you up about the tuition fee in partnership with Kai Global School. Thank you, Ms. Adefunke Oladipo, for joining in. We appreciate your time out with us. Then please send in your questions. We will be glad to answer them. So the last question for this session is around, okay, since we still have a lot of questions coming in, is there a cutoff mark or eligibility for the scholarship?
For the entrance scholarships, yes. So I believe 85% is the cutoff for the entrance scholarships. Now, there's many other scholarships that are also available, and they're not all based on marks. And so we have we have actually a bank of those scholarships that students can apply to, and we also have a couple of our own scholarships as well. So we make sure that students are aware of all of them that they can apply to. But for the entrance scholarships, those are awarded to students with an 85% average or above.
All right, thank you. So it's actually very competitive. So 85 is the benchmark to want to assess those top scholarship. And with the help of our live classes and the physical support of the tutors and lecturers here, we can be sure we will hit above that mark. And I believe that is at level 4. That is where you get such marks and above. All right, thank you. So the last question from this end is, what is the role of guidance counselors in helping students with the Ossd requirement? I think this is around their course combination, choosing the course especially they want to study in the university. So do we have any expected role as part of the support from Kai Global School?
Yes, so part of our role and our obligation to Dublin and their students is to make sure that they have the proper courses that they need for the pathway that they want to go into. So for example, if a student wants to go into engineering, then we need to make sure that they have their grade 12 English, physics, advanced functions, calculus and vectors, chemistry, and I think I'm missing one, data management, or sometimes computer science. If they want to go into, say, computer science, we make sure that they have their computer science, their calculus and vectors and advanced functions in English, and then 2 electives. So, and sometimes we'll make suggestions for the 2 electives as well, because the idea is to boost up their average or their GPA. And so we know which courses students tend to get a higher mark in, so we usually suggest those. But that's part of and then the other part of the guidance is to let them know what's available for scholarships, what schools are, if they're looking for more for affordability, or if they're looking for a certain area of the country, we help them with that. And then for students that apply outside of Canada, it's our responsibility to, when we get the request from the student to send off their proof of enrollment or a transcript to a university, then we make sure that we send that off in a timely manner so that their application is accepted by the universities.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much for this enlightening session. All right, so we would love to have you send more of your question to our contact addresses and the website, as well as our email for all your question, and our address is displayed on the screen as well, such that you can come right down to the facility for us to discuss more about this all important opportunity of having your OSSD here in Nigeria, as you will already be seen as a domestic student in Canada. So you can reach us via our website at www.doveland6thformcollege.com, and our email address at info@doveland6thformcollege.com, and our address is displayed on our screen. So we want to sincerely use this opportunity to appreciate our partner for finding time to join us this evening. And I believe it has been an enriching as well as an enlightening session where we have demystified a lot of questions around the OSSD program. You've heard about the benefits of enrollment, and we hope that you will come down to the facility such that we can begin to discuss how you can be part of this all-important opportunity to study in Canada and any part of the world. So we appreciate you greatly for joining this program this evening. And on behalf of Doveland Sixth Form College, we want to appreciate you and we say thank you. And it will be a good evening from all of us to us. Do have a wonderful evening. And do not forget on Saturday, the big day as well, for the university fair, where we have a lot of universities that will be represented. So irrespective of where you want to study, Doveland Sixth Form College got you covered. So we'll be waiting to receive and welcome you to this event on Saturday. We will also be privileged to have Laurie present to us come Saturday as well. So you wouldn't want to miss this opportunity. And the starting time is 10 a.m. We will be looking forward to having you. So see you on Saturday. And if you are not in Abuja, you can send in your relatives, your friends, as well as your colleagues to our facility on Saturday, where we will be having the university fair. So thank you so much. We appreciate your time for joining us this evening. Thank you so much. Laurie, any parting word for us? Laurie, you are muted.
Sorry, I wanted to say thank you very much for having me and for allowing me to speak to your parents and your students. And I hope to meet everybody and to have you join us.
All right, thank you so much. So that will be a good evening from all of us at Doveland Sixth Form College. Thank you for joining us this evening, and bye for now.
Thank you.
Aspire to study in the UK, Canada, or any part of the world? Doveland Sixth Form College Abuja is your ticket to the world's top and finest universities. We offer a wide range of pathways while you're in Nigeria to suit your aspirations to top universities abroad. Our programs include the Canadian Diploma (OSSD), Cambridge A-Levels, UK University Foundation Program, national exams and remedial programs, international exams like SAT, TOEFL, and IELTS. We are located at Plot 150 Dovland Crescent off Canary Street at Polokogoma Road, Bumba District, Abuja. For more information, please call 0906-835-5988, 0904-131-0079, or www.dovland6formcollege.com. Also, follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Dovland Sixth Form College. Dovland Sixth Form College, Abuja. Global minds, boundless opportunities.